Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Dogging It. Melina Mike, it's day 3, and I'll tell you what, I woke up today with just a feeling of optimism about Team USA based on nothing that I've seen over the first 2 days, but it's got to get better today, right?
I woke up today on tilt because of Fargo and our conversation last night. That's what I woke up on. But I digress. We're going to have a Fargo handicap tournament free rest of the day, rest of the show. But I don't know if you saw my last post, Joe, but I did mention I want to have kind of like a town hall meeting. I'm going to invite some junior players who are in that spot, players who are in their 30s in that spot, Fargo rate, Jack from Mob. We're going to invite a bunch of people.
I'm just saying it plays a role. It plays a piece.
I'm not in that role to know. I don't play that well to know. I don't play tournaments to know. So let's just have good fun debate.
Healthy debate. Yeah,
so,
sure.
You know what's funny is that I'm sure the WPA is just eating popcorn, just loving us all kind of get after each other.
Well,
but
we got to be equal opportunity with getting on each other's ass.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
But hey,
number 3, Joe.
Yeah, look, Mike, USA has not played up to their standard. We know that, and Europe has played excellent pool. I think Joshua Filler, unbelievable pool so far. Kid. But I feel like something's got to change today. And, if it doesn't change, then it's just going to be a blowout loss for Team USA because they're just missing certain opportunities that when you see a player the caliber of like a Federer Gorst not get out in certain opportunities, like missing that 7 ball, you just don't see it that often, right? And I think things have to change today. I'm optimistic. I'm predicting that US is going to win 3 today. They're going to pick up 3 points.
Well, all they got is a chance to win 3, and we'll get to the lineups here and talk about the matchups. But, we love having guests on, especially this time of year, and I like people with unique perspectives on the conversation. And so I reached out to I saw yesterday some former coaches, Laley, Johan, kind of make some social media posts about all the stuff going on at the Mosconi Cup. And I reached out to Johan this morning, and I said, hey, or late last night, I said, I'd love to have you on because, he's been in that camp. He's been, in that foxhole with both teams. He knows those players very well on both sides. He's trained with Federer. He's trained with Tyler before as well, along with being the former American captain. So it's a real, like, no one's been in those shoes like he has, I feel like. So I just like you, man, I want to find out what's going on because something's going on.
That's what Johan asked online. He said, "What's going on?" Well, let's see what he thinks going on. I'd love to hear his perspective on it.
Let me bring him on in here. Johan Rusting. Johan, welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah,
it's good that
I want to start.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's our pleasure. I want to start with what's behind you though, because I like your decor there at the home front. But you got what appears to be a jump cue that's seen better days, is what it looks like.
Yes.
And tell us the story.
It was 2019. I think Tyler played a not such a good match. I think he missed a jump, and he was so frustrated coming back to the practice room that he threw his cue through the practice room. It broke. And I thought, I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to remember you, just to stay emotional stable.
Look, you're my kind of guy. You see good content and you have to hold on to it because it's going to be a gem at some point. I love that.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, Johan, I bet you if you were out there right now, there would probably be some broken cues laying around in the backstage area for Team USA with a lot of frustration. What has been your take so far on just the quality of play from Team USA?
Well, I got a lot of these questions through the social media. Obviously, I have not been at the preparation time and the whole leading up to this Mosconi Cup. But if you look at the Mosconi Cup, it's obvious that America has a great team this year. Absolutely, one of the better teams in the last year. But they just don't perform at the level that they should. And it starts with the break. They can't seem to find the break. Whereas, for example, Federer, Shane, Tyler are great breakers, but they can't seem to find a break. So, which is number one. And second of all, there's just if you can turn 2 or 3 balls around, it will probably be like 5-4 or much closer. But there's some very important situations that have been missed and opportunities, and that's just it's not who these players are. So I don't know what's going on. Why are they not playing to the standard that they used to and that they can?
Let's start with the 2 missed balls by Shane. He starts off with the miss, I think, on the 9, follows that up on the team match with the miss on the 7 ball. What are you telling him, if anything, after those misses, Johan? What are you going in, like? Are you just kind of like letting it simmer, giving him some space, less is more kind of approach, or how are you feeling out that pulse? Because how much weight that he carries just from his his energy in that group of people.
Yeah, and he's got this incredible reputation and status, and so everybody's kind of dependent on him on the team matches. If they ask for help, they ask for Shane, so he also gets his role of being the leader. But I think it's not his natural thing. I think he wants, his intention and his intensity is to win with his team, and he's very helpful. But I think it kind of takes 5% of his own game. If he just try, every time when he plays a double, and you see after Shane shoot the ball, then immediately the next player, his teammate, has to play immediately, is behind the ball and giving advice and taking care of that. Everything is okay. But I think that role is not his role. He should take care of himself, because if Shane doesn't perform the way he should, this affects the whole team. If Shane Wolver doesn't play good, or Tyler Steyer doesn't play good, that doesn't affect the whole team. But if Shane, their leading guy, misses these kind of balls and is not on 100%, but only on 95%, which in this level is just 5% too little, then it affects the whole team, and that is happening right now. That's a shame, because again, these are great players, and it should have been much more closer, much more competitive.
What were you thinking, like, going into the Mosconi Cup, just seeing the lineup changes, seeing the players on both sides, knowing, the player that Federer is, because obviously you got a lot of history with him. What were you thinking from a competitive standpoint? Did you honestly believe that they could pull it off?
America can only pull it off if they have a good preparation. So it is the constant difference between culture in Europe and the culture in America. You guys play one pocket, you play long races. If you play for outside the tournaments, there's all kinds of ways, and the whole culture of how you play is absolutely contradictory to the Mosconi Cup. You never play a race to 5. Like we play in the Euro Tours, we play a race to 9, which is kind of short. Over a break, we are used to the breaking format, and we have a very high discipline in preparation. Americans play each other all year long, not only on the tournaments, also for money. So they're basically competitors, and to make them into one team 1 year is a very complicated and very hard task to do. And I'm kind of frustrated, because I felt that we kind of showed how it's done in 2018 and 19. That it needs a lot of preparation, and then you need a good team discipline, and you need to have good tasks and good coordination between the players, and it seems to have disappeared. And that's just such a shame, because again, it's a great team, Team America. Absolutely.
So going into yesterday, Johan, US was trailing and obviously needed some points, and Jeremy decided to go with Federer for those first 3 matches. And you've worked with Federer in the past, and it just didn't work out for him. Did you notice anything in his fundamentals or, something different in Federer yesterday that you haven't seen in the past?
Well, if I would have noticed, I would probably would have called him and told him. I noticed a couple of things, but it's again, it's hard to. It's about very fine details.
Right.
Like he has this long shot or a long reach with the cue. You can see that he's turning around to get his extension. Thinks that he doesn't have an extension in time anymore, so he changes his mind and he does it without extension. Jabs at the ball, has another shot that was, he didn't come all the way back to the center of the table. He had a thin cut on the 7, and then suddenly he misses the 7, where he's also just punching at the ball. So technically it wasn't perfect, but on the other hand, in a crunch time situation, you don't need to be technically perfect. You just need to make the balls. But since his technique is so flawless, you'd expect him to play on these kind of shots also flawless. And again, 2-3% off, and you will lose matches in this format. It's such a harsh format. It's an incredibly difficult format. Francisco Ruiz Sanchez missed a ball on the side. He puts it in the corner pocket.
Yeah.
That's a game changer in a race to 5.
Yeah. It's a gut punch.
And if you want to win as America, as Team America, and you want to win the Mosconi Cup, you got to be better than the level of America or of the level of Europe, plus the eventual luckies and flukes that they have, which might be the other way around also. But this time, Europe is in the head in the flukes and in the advantage from Mrs. Balls and the kind of lucky in some situations. And only if it's 2 or 3 times, again in a race to 5, that's incredibly important. Then you can lose matches.
Yeah, no, we saw that about Federer, and just he was very much aware of that clock, and it seemed that was the case from the very beginning. Watching his opening doubles match, the emphasis with him and Wolford of just the clock, 22 seconds, 20 seconds. You got plenty of time. I noticed he didn't have his jump cue together at one point during his double match. He had to go put that thing together like mid match, which was crazy to me because that just seems so rudimentary and it was just a number of things. But I want to ask about the equipment, Johan, because how you've worked with a number of top players. How tough is it for these guys to get back to their level of execution after making an equipment change right before an event like this?
So what was the equipment change?
Yeah, like how difficult is it for them to get back to that level of standard that they're used to? Switching
because of the 4-inch pockets.
No, not just that, but like his cue
cues. Yeah, so Federer, Federer and FSR both recently announced new cue sponsors and are using new cues, and both of them don't really look like themselves out there. And so I think Mike's question is like how pivotal is that to the way they're performing right now, or how difficult is it to change equipment like that?
That's incredibly difficult, especially since he hasn't worked with that brand before. So you has to be adjusted to his wishes in the time that he's going to play with it. But he plays so short with it that I'm absolutely certain that some shots will not feel comfortable for him. Again, 2-3% off is huge. If you're 5% off, then you don't win the match in the Mosconi Cup. So if the cue is new, then that will definitely be a factor. Yes, and people probably don't know, but that's very sensitive.
Yeah.
So going into the day, obviously US is down 7-1 now. And I'm curious to know, as a coach, what would your message be to Team USA at this point? I mentioned last night on the show, I would say, hey, we got nothing to lose. Just get out there and play fast and loose. And Melina was like, well, that's stupid. So I'm just curious to see what you would tell Team USA.
Well, I've been in a situation being, I think, 10-4 down in the first in 2017, and what I told the players is, listen, make yourself ready for the biggest comeback in the history of the Mosconi Cup. Well, that didn't happen. We lost the first match, so it was 11-4. But anyway, I think pool is a game of momentum, and if you can switch the momentum to your side, and you would actually get 2 or 3 out of 3 matches today, things can turn around. But it doesn't look like it so far. Skyler didn't have a lot of shots yet. on the match that he played, and he hasn't been able to show anything yet. So it's quite a heavy task to put the whole day on his shoulders now. So I hope he does well. He has the skills, but 7-1 down is not a like you're mentally like, yeah, let's go.
You've kind of had to fade what Federer's dealing with now, because before you had wins as the captain of the American team, you caught a lot of shit online for being a European and stepping into that role, Johan. You know, a lot of stuff online, a lot of not so positive things. And I know afterwards it was a little bit different, but tell us about how that experience was. What was like?
Well, I don't care. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Listen, you can only insult me with my permission. That's as simple as that. If you put things on the internet, I don't know you, or even if I don't know, but I do know you, but I know that you don't know the situation that I'm in. You don't know the real details about the Mosconi Cup. So why would I care about what you're saying to me?
Fair enough. Johan,
so I don't really care.
I appreciate that for sure, and I love that attitude. You know, I've if I don't know you, it's the same way. If I know you, it's a different story. So I get it for sure. We got another special guest that's jumping on with us for a few minutes out of London, and I'm gonna bring him on in. I'm gonna bring him on in right now. We try to get him on a little earlier, but we got El Ferrari, FSR. How are you,
guys?
Hey, what's up, friend?
How you doing, guys?
Good. Francisco, could you have anticipated this score line at this stage of the Mosconi Cup?
I mean, this amazing feeling. We're leading 7-1. You know, we had a 2 good date. You know, I have to be honest. I struggled a few times. You know, because I'm playing with the new cues, too much pressure. So, but at the end of the day, I really enjoy every moment here in the biggest tournament in the world.
Let's talk about that Federer match for a minute, because you guys are undefeated at that point. It goes a little back and forth, and then he's got an open table, Fran. And if you were like the rest of us, you're thinking he's out, because we've seen Federer a million times get out. What was going through your mind sitting in the chair as he made that transition from that 6 to the 7?
Yeah, I mean, when he break, I mean, the two, I think he played like a safety, but he banked it. So he had to the difficult shot, to the 3 balls. So I think that's the key for the rack. So he make it perfect. So when he made this ball, I thought it's already finished, But he lost the key ball on the 6 ball, I think. So I think maybe I have one more chance. I mean, the crowd was unbelievable. It was so much pressure So finally, I have my chance. So it was an unbelievable match.
Right from the beginning, even like it's easy to be relaxed now that you're winning 7-1, but even right from the beginning, I thought Team Europe looked very relaxed. You guys, the way you were interacting was a lot of smiles, a lot of just like you were happy to be there. Was that purposeful coming into this? Did you guys decide, hey, let's try to just be relaxed and enjoy the moment? Or is it just the team camaraderie?
We try to do the same thing than the last year. I mean, we have a good advantage, I think, because last year we played together. So we try to enjoy. So that's why we are smiling every single moment. When I play with David, I play with him every day. So I feel really comfortable with him. But I feel the same with the rest of the team. I mean, we try to enjoy like last year. So we have experience. So I feel like the rookie in the team, because this is my second time. But like I said before, I just try to enjoy.
You paired up with Josh yesterday, following up your singles match, and there was one shot in particular that I want to ask you about. He's got that cue ball on the rail, and I think it was like a 5-ball or something that he just drilled with force follow and just hit one of the sickest shots I've ever seen the guy play. What is it about Josh that just makes him different out there in that arena?
You mean the shot that he kicked, the shot on play safety?
No. So he's got the cue ball on the rail, and he force followed the both. Yeah.
Oh, he followed. Yeah, I mean, I cannot say anything about Josh. He's confident. I think he's the best in the world right now. I mean, when you play with him, you feel like an amateur player. because he's amazing. I had to be honest. His confidence is the big in the world right now. So when he played in this match, he played two unbelievable shots. Also, the kick shot, the safety shot was amazing. But
Yeah.
the last one, when he was looking the shot, he was so confident. So when he made the shot, we took it. I think time out. It was 3-3. So we took them out. We go together to a toilet. He was saying like, "Come on, baby, come on." I was like, "Oh my God, this guy's crazy." I mean, yeah, this guy is unbelievable. He has so much confidence. So I mean, like a competitor, I feel he is the best.
We haven't seen much out of Ralph Eckert. He's kind of seemed to be more in the shadows, and even Carl Boys mentioned it on the broadcast that he's not really interacting with you guys as much as he anticipated. Just curious to find out like how it's going with Ralph, and what kind of advice he's giving you guys going into day 3 now.
I mean, everything is going well. I mean, he's the rookie, so he's trying to do the best thing for the team. But like he said, the first day, you guys have more experience than me. You know what is better for you guys. So just try to do the same thing than the last year. So I think that's all. And the most important is to enjoy every moment here, to be a team together. So let's see what happens day 3.
You guys obviously have a big cushion, a big lead. How do you avoid letting up? How do you avoid getting complacent and letting them get back in this tournament today?
I mean, just continue like this. I mean, we know we are leading in 7-1. We are so close to take this Mosconi, but this is gonna be another day. So everything can change one day. So we just try to stay focused. Like if we start like 0-0.
Yeah, I have a
Johan, what do
question for
you?
you,
Yeah, go ahead, Johan.
Francisco. How do you feel the breaking is on this table? Are the racks are they consistent?
I mean, that's the pen of the ref. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I was working with Feather. I mean, both we didn't make the win ball. The 9 ball was moving. It's. I mean, you have to figure out the pen of the ref,
Uh-huh.
the pen of the which side you break. So I mean, I think yesterday was really tough the break. I think the first day
Yeah.
was working for everyone, but the second day was tougher for everyone, not for me.
Okay. Is it the situation, the circumstances, humidity, or is it the referees that changed the?
I mean both. I mean both. The referee, not always working the same, but
Okay.
it's also the referee is important. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fran, you talked earlier about the fans, and I was there last year, and that crowd was just electric. And it seems like this year, at least from watching, and I know it's a different experience watching on TV, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem quite as loud. The European fans seem a little more tame than they've been in past years. They're not, yelling as much when the US is in their backstroke. Tell us about the arena and tell us about the experience with the fans there.
Yeah, this is my first time here in London. I mean, I think last year for me was bigger. I had to be honest. I mean, last year for me was bigger. I don't know if you had played in US, but I mean, the crowd last year was unbelievable.
Yep.
This year is big also, but I think I was really surprised last year with the crowd. Yeah, in my opinion, was much bigger. Yeah.
That's because Melina, Mike, and I were there.
I know. We know. We know the truth. We know the truth. We talked about Federer and the equipment change and being out there in that arena, Fran. But you also, changed equipment right before coming out there. How's that transition been to your confidence being on that stage?
I mean, I was practicing 2 weeks with the new cues. I feel really comfortable, but when you come here on the biggest tournament in the world, I think it doesn't matter which cue you use. I mean, you're gonna feel the pressure anyway.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I have to be honest. I think I don't feel like 100% because couple shot, I have to adjust my game. But for example, there is I think It was the first day with David when I played Scott double. I played like a draw shot in the last rack. I feel really comfortable with the key. So I'm really happy with the key, Ted. So I'm really excited.
3 matches today. What's going to be the score at the end of the day, Francisco?
Come on.
I don't want to say, but I would say that, okay. I think 3-0 Europe.
Ooh.
3-0 Europe. On that note, we'll get you out of here. I know you got to run and get to practice and be with the team. Fran, we appreciate
Good
you
luck with
stopping
that,
by, even
Fran.
if it's for a few minutes.
Thank you, my friend.
Good luck out there, man, and
Yeah,
we'll
good
all
luck,
be
Fran.
watching, brother.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice.
See ya.
Well, that was a fun surprise last minute. We were trying to get some players on before we went live earlier this morning, and I just got hit up by Adam, and shout out to him, Matchroom's media team, for coordinating that. So, what were your takeaways, Johan? Just seeing the energy that he had, the attitude. He seemed very loose. I know it's a lot
As
easier
always.
at 7-1. Yeah,
As always. I mean, I've seen him probably from his junior time. He's always been a fast player. He's always been. Sometimes he looks a little bit like anxious, but
yeah.
man, I've seen this guy play pool. It's unbelievable. So I'm a big fan of his.
From a fundamental
years ago,
standpoint,
I thought he was already a Mosconi contender, but just the last 3 days or the last 3 years, his game's gone like pew.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been unreal what he's been able to accomplish. But from a fundamental standpoint, Johan, he seems to have a real unique way that he gets on the ball and the way that he delivers the cue.
Yeah.
He's been known to have some body English at times. If you're giving him advice, and obviously you can see the level of success that he's had with it, how do you avoid, like, by still giving him sound advice, but at the same time not messing up his rhythm? What works for him?
I mean, if it ain't broken, you don't fix it. But the problem with this jabby technique sometimes is that when you feel pressure, that you become a little bit more jabby. That's when you start missing balls. So I'm a big fan, as you know, of the elbow drop technique, which is a little bit more relaxed, not so much tension. But I mean, either he handles the pressure very well, because he said he felt a lot of pressure, but it doesn't look like it. He plays a great pool. So, or he just, if you're used to your own fundamentals, look at Sufi, right? The guy from Syria. He plays with the arm to the side. But if you're used to your own fundamentals, then it doesn't need to him hamper you with running racks.
Yeah, I mean, if your timing is there, it's just there.
Yeah, exactly.
Johan, you talked before about preparation, and everybody, all the U.S. fans out there, are trying to figure out what went wrong this year. And I'm just curious, if you had another shot at Team USA next year or a year in the future, what would you do in terms of preparation leading up to the Cup? Jeremy had a limited amount of time. He had about a week before the Cup to kind of get the boys ready. What would your preparation cycle look like?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't care about what Matchroom says about preparation, because if I would do the Mosconi Cup, I prepare my team my way, the way to win. And if that doesn't happen, I'm not the captain. I determine what the preparation is, not the Matchroom, not anybody else. Because I was, at that time, appointed for one thing, to win the Mosconi Cup. So we did everything possible in the preparation to make sure we were at the sharpest. And that's, again, you play each other all year long. And in Europe, we don't play each other for money. Playing for money hurts extra, right? If I beat you in a tournament, that's okay. But if I take your money, that's something different, right? And there's a lot of this going on in America, also between the better players. And I think that's just not the best preparation for a race to 5. So if you play a race to 5 match, you need a different preparation, and you need to be ready for a new cloth, 4-inch pockets, race to 5, on the break. This breaking format, which is different, only on the Matchroom events is the same, but I mean in all the other tournaments it's different. So you need a lot of preparations. You can't be 97% on the Mosconi Cup. If you're playing a team like Team Europe with Filler, with FZR, with Al-Qaeda, I mean, they're just too good to be at 97%. Yeah. So you got to make sure that you're 100%. And I've said after 2019 that it was my last Mosconi Cup. But to be honest, I am so incredibly frustrated now that I probably would consider doing it again one more time. But that will be a future thing. But it's frustrating to see such a great team, such great players not achieving the way they should. And
How
by
would
that,
you?
kind of killing the Mosconi Cup, because 7-1, who's interested in the Mosconi Cup? It's gonna be like 11-1 or 11-2, 11-3. That's not
Yeah, I
interesting
said
at
that.
all.
I said it's a disaster for the U.S. and it's a disaster for Matchroom right now. Nobody wants to see a non-competitive. So many people have said I can't even bear to watch it. And that's not what we want to hear, right?
To watch it.
Yeah,
It does.
I mean,
It does.
I've been watching now for 2 days. I didn't want to watch everything, but from ball one, I'm just amazed about, and I'm looking at my guys, Tyler, Federer, how they're playing, how they're achieving. It's just not there, and that's just frustrating. It's annoying. It hurts, and I would like to see differently, but it's the way it is at the moment.
How would you accomplish a better preparation given the selection process, Johan? Because you get, I think, one guy, like I think it's 3 automatics, 2 wild cards, and then I think the last one got announced after Hanoi. I think was the last one, something like that. So,
well, and
is that
just the calendar, Mike. There's so many events that even Europe didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
So
in 2018, I went to America. Every player, I've been 1 week at his house to prepare on a personal level with every player, make sure that they're technically, strategically, and mentally in the right spot, and know what to do. And I think that's the way to go. There's no I in the team, is what everybody says, but I don't like these one-liners because I think there's 5 I's in the team. If one I is not 100%, then you only play with 4 players, and you can't win the Mosconi Cup with 4 players. So you have to make sure that everybody's on his top level. They support each other in the right way. They know what their preferences are in training and in the matches. It's a very complicated thing to blend the team together, and you need some time for that. And Matchroom, if they want to, to have the Mosconi Cup in a nice competitive way, they need to understand that America needs a different preparation than the European guys.
how receptive were the Americans back in 18 to the different culture that you were trying to bring in?
No.
How open they were.
No, I made a mistake to try and do it halfway in 2017. Didn't work. We lost 11-4. Sorry. The year after, I said, listen, we're going to do it my way now, and we're going to go international. We're going to go to Russia, to Holland. We're going to play international teams. And it worked. We won the Mosconi, we won the Euro Tour, we won the Kremlin Cup, we won the international team event. So, and every time, I mean, in the finals of the Euro Tour, I think it was against Kachi, Shane. He was 5-0 down and turned it around. We were 7-4 down in the team match against the international team, turned around. In the Dream Challenge against Team Russia, 7-4 down, we turned around to 8-7. So every time we kind of found a flow to come back. And I absolutely hope that today America finds this flow again.
Can they?
Yeah. What needs to happen?
Yeah, I mean, if Skylar has a good day, then definitely you're gonna, get some points.
Well, let's talk about the lineups because they are out. Play starts in a little bit under 1 hour from now. Let me see if I can turn off this graphic, and then we will bring on in the lineups for today. So let's start with number 1. Johan, you got doubles, David Alcade and Jason Shaw versus Sky Woodward and Shane Wolford. Give me your thoughts on that matchup.
Well, Skylar is not a big talker, so he will probably, Shane Wolford will have a lot of free mind because he doesn't get a lot of information from Skylar, so he can play his own game. That's good. Skylar always plays his own game. His motto is it don't matter. It doesn't matter, so that's good. And of course, the European team is, same level every time. So that's a high level. Jason David is a very good doubles.
What are you telling these players, Johan? These first 2 are you trying to are you trying to let them know the severity of it, or do they just already know and you're kind of just good luck, boys? What are you
No,
telling
it's
them
not
as
good luck, boys.
as the captain?
Not good luck, good leg.
Good luck. Hey, but listen. My pocketbook says they've been winning the lag this year, but it hasn't translated into victories, and that was a
True.
big
A good
talking
leg,
point.
then a good
That was
break.
a talking point for the
Yeah.
last few years.
Yep. True. We didn't win a lot of legs.
Yeah,
But yesterday, for example, Tyler had one of the, he had it on the rail, and the other guy
it was
very
the
close to
sickest
the rail.
lag ever. Yeah,
But then he has a break. It's almost like if that it was such a unique moment. This leg, it was so close that it almost like powered him up, fired him up, and then he broke too hard or too full, whatever. So it was almost a disadvantage because it was such a unique leg. But anyway, good leg, good break. It's ball by ball. You just got to be positive and make sure that you attack. The way Shane and Federer played yesterday and the choices they made, the attacking choice. If you can play safe or you can attack. You can't win by playing safe anymore.
and it seemed like there was a lot of second guessing there. Like Federer almost trying to defer to Shane until he just I like the shot, I'm taking it. But it
I
was a
thought the
lot of like
communication.
filling it out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought the communication there was very, very adult-like, and I saw a full trust in Shane on Federer and the other way around. The first time that I thought that Shane wasn't trying to interfere on every shot, but he was actually trusting Federer to play the correct shot, which was great. And in the end, when Shane gave some advice to Federer listened and he played a good shot. So I thought that was good and positive communication. I really enjoyed seeing them walking around the table in the match.
I noticed a nice little contrast. Whereas Shane and Federer a few times elected to play defense, when Filler was at the table, it was like just complete offense. It seemed like just going for all kinds of shots and a lot of confidence between the team
a lot
there.
Of confidence. The guy doesn't ever think he can miss. So what will you do if you think you're going to make a shot? You're going to make it, right? You're going to shoot it.
Yeah,
and that's what he
crazy.
thinks. I've seen him warm up, for example, in the World Games from the rail like 20 times in a row, jacked up, bum, 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 doesn't miss. It's absolutely incredible.
Stupid. Yeah. It's so pure. He hits it so pure, back center of the pocket. All you hear is the ball drop, and he's already halfway to the next shot by the time the ball gets in the hole. I mean, it's the sickest thing. He's just a complete alien. That guy is.
Well, I tell you one thing that I think bodes well for Team USA today. When you look at those faces up there, you see a lot of Sky Woodward, you see a lot of Jason Shaw. Obviously, Jason's a fine player, and he could certainly win those matches, but you don't see any Josh Filler up there.
No.
And so I think right now, Josh has established himself really as the best player in the world and definitely the best Mosconi player right now. And the fact that you're not going to see him on day 3, I think bodes really well for the U.S. to get back into this thing.
You probably got the second most clutch guy in December over the last 5 years in Jason waiting for you. So, yeah, that's a good trade-off if you're an American fan.
Can you at least let me be optimistic, Molina? I mean,
to be honest,
we know the reality of the situation. We're down 7-1. I just need a little bit of optimism from you, buddy.
I don't know, man. It's rough.
Listen, Jason is a great player, but he can also miss some balls. He can also play some shots that, he's not always perfect. So
he's definitely not immune, Johan.
If he doesn't have his best day, then probably we can get some points on the board. Definitely.
No, I agree, and it seems like his and we've seen it at times where maybe the adrenaline's gotten the better of him, because he does get so hyped up and so amped up the crowd, and he plays to it, and he wants to not just win so badly, but he does it in style, right? The antics online. I mean, in the arena, rather. Yeah, exactly. He plays it well, though, and he can deliver. So it's going to be tough. Yeah. The second matchup of the day, you got Sky versus Shaw. That's about as box office and Mosconi Cup as you can ask for outside of like a Filler versus Shane type of matchup. But, I mean, it's the hopes of the Americans are all on Sky's shoulders in these first 2 matches. Like any kind of optimism you're going to have for the remainder of the Cup is all on this kid's shoulders. And the guy who
Yep.
wants to be the biggest, suffocator of American hope is the guy playing against them in Jason. So it's very poetic that these two are lining up in this position.
Yep.
Well, and I think with Sky Woodward really being the heartbeat of Team USA, even if USA wins match 1 and Jason beats Sky in match 2, that's going to be a huge blow to Team USA's hopes, right? Obviously with the score line, but for the team to get up after that and continue to play. So it's a big match for Sky Woodward in match 2 to win that match and bring it home for Team USA.
Johan, do you know the importance of picking a lineup and how much it can be weighted in certain parts of the event,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Day one decisions versus day 4. And I know it's a lot easier to talk about this now, but would you have put Federer in that position? If you were Jeremy, all things considered, yesterday.
Well, it's not about so much about putting him in position. It's more about how and in what mental state he gets to that position,
Right.
right? Because it doesn't
Agree.
matter where you play. If you don't play good, then you lose. If you do play good, you can win. So it's more important to have players on their top form than the place that are the sport that they're playing in, because basically all the sports are kind of connected. So if you use one guy in the singles, you can't use another. That it's all connected. So basically, when you have your first lineup for the first day, you also need already know your second day and third day also. So only the fourth day is different because that's singles, and then you can actually change the order around. But basically, when you decide your first day, you already know what the second and third day also are in your lineup. So
Would you
quite
have you ever made any kind of changes on the fly like that after a day 1
no,
performance and say, I want to,
no.
let me change gears here because of a score line?
Only when it was still possible. I think it was 2007, probably with Tony Drago. He played a doubles team with Stepanov, and they lost 6-5 because of a not so good shot of Stepanov. And Tony kind of cursed Stepanov after the match, and so I took him out of the doubles. I said, "You're only going to play singles. You want to be a D5, you want to be the best player in the world. You can do the singles, but you're not a team player." By the way, he became MVP, so he did deliver. That's for sure.
That's a funny story. That's actually great, especially the MVP part at the end.
Change things because you go into the Mosconi Cup with a certain plan and a certain theme, a certain topic, a certain issue that you want to emphasize, a certain motto, and all these things are, invented before and programmed before the Mosconi Cup. And then when you go into the Mosconi Cup, you kind of you see what your players are, what shape they are in. Is a player a good player in the morning? Then you put him in the first match. If player always gets up late and is always late, it's a lazy guy, so you put him in the back. His energy will be high in the evening and not in the morning. So that's the things that we consider. But the rest, most of the time, the lineup is probably already made at home before it's going to go.
Give me your prediction on the way the score goes, Johan, for today. It doesn't bode too much optimism with that laugh there.
Well, I would say this might be a 2-1 day for America.
Really?
Yes.
What two were you predicting that they win?
I think they win the last doubles, and I think they win the first doubles.
Wow. What say you, Joe?
I got all three. I really do. I like USA's lineup today. I like that it's Sky Woodward heavy. We know that he comes to play in Mosconi Cup. That's one player. I mean, that match against Josh was kind of an anomaly. He had some bad things happen, and Josh just was Josh. And so he really didn't get a chance to shoot. But when we did see him with the chance to shoot, I think Sky's looking pretty comfortable out there. And I think that he's going to lead us to 3 victories today.
Well, it's a pretty good prediction there, boys. Pretty good prediction.
What about you, Melina? Come on, you can't get away.
I don't know. I think look, I like the first doubles. I'm there because I saw, Wolford and Sky play very well together practicing before the event, and I think they got an underrated type of chemistry and trust within each other. And Wolford's played very well in the Mosconi Cup up until this point. I mean, surprisingly well for my money. I thought he would rattle a lot, and he just hasn't. He's come with some pretty big shots, and I'm interested to see his psyche and how he'll be out there. And
Yeah, some great gut shots, definitely.
he did. He absolutely did. But listen, the Europeans are closers. They're killers. They're monsters. I don't see them winning after that. I think it'll be 2-1 in favor of the Europeans. I like Jason and closing out the last two matches.
I think Joey and me are more about the hope for the Mosconi Cup.
Well, if it was just about the hope, I would say let's go 3-0 Team USA. Because look, I love seeing competitive pool. Like it breaks my heart seeing these guys go out there and just and have a showing like this, because there was so much fight and optimism and hard work, prior to and once they got over there. So and really they were just a few shots away from it being 2-2 in that first day, which would have completely shifted the way that everything went.
Yep.
And so to have it kind of, the wheels come off a little bit, it just, as friends with a lot of these guys, it's hard to see them struggle like this, because I know that they're better competitors than what the scoreline may show, but being in this spot, we just call balls and strikes and how we see things, and whether it's fair or not. But in sports, crazier things have happened.
Look, they win 3 matches today, and they start tomorrow with 2 matches. What does that make it? 7-6, right? If they win these 3 and then they get the first 2 tomorrow, it's 7-6. And then people who are refusing to buy DAZN subscriptions are buying them, and everybody's logging on, and this becomes the biggest thing ever for pool, right? So that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, Johan, I appreciate you for stopping by and giving your insight, your candor. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah.
I know Joey feels the same way and all. We got about 500 people watching over all the platforms, so we appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us. The show starts in about 40 minutes from now. You guys can check it out on DAZN if you're in the U.S. Shout out to our sponsors, Fort Worth Billiards, for our Mosconi Cup coverage, along with Franco Custom Cues. Johan, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Well, again, I mean, for the Mosconi Cup, as an event, it is very important that America gets some points on the day today, on the board today. Yes.
Agreed.
Well, let's pray and let's go USA. All right.